Now here's one thing I didn't expect to find on a 40-year-old Boeing 737-200. Thank you! Hello and welcome to Montreal in Canada, and today we're going on an adventure. If you're in Paris or anywhere else in France for that matter and you want a cup of coffee, where would you go? Probably to a Starbucks, because that's what it's called in France, but not here in Montreal. It's not French enough. Here it's called the Café Starbucks. Let's get a coffee and get on our way. Thank you. Cheers. Alright, got me small Starbucks, me Café Starbucks. Let's head to the airport. Made it to Montreal Airport. So today we're heading up to the far north of Quebec, and when I say north, it's even further north than Bolton. It's literally like as far north as you can get here in Quebec in eastern Canada. We're heading to a place right on the coast of the Hudson Bay called Inuit, with an airline called Air Inuit, who essentially operate all of these little flights connecting all of the little towns in the remote north of Quebec. And today we're going to be trying them out and heading up to spend the night there in the wilderness, or at least in a little town in the wilderness anyway. So let's head inside and take a ride with them. So what do you need from me?
Your name. And you're going where today?
Inuit. Hello. Good morning. Is it Dash 8 or 737 or?
It's gonna be a dash.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Hopefully they'll send a 737 tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Right, all checked in. Got my boarding pass up to Inuit, little town on the coast of the Hudson Bay. Air Inuit actually operate a fleet of really cool planes. They've got Dash 8 300s, which is what we're on today, and they've got 737-200 Combi aircraft, which is what I'm hoping to be on tomorrow. It's what's scheduled for tomorrow at least, so we'll find out tomorrow whether we get that. But for now, we've got a 5-hour ride on a Dash 8 up to Inuit. Right, through security, I do want to call into somewhere and make sure that I pick up some basic bits of food, just in case I get there and find there's nowhere to eat or anything, and being a little tiny village in the middle of nowhere is very possible. So I'm going to see what I can find just to sneak up with me and try and at least keep me fed a little bit, if nothing else. Thank you. Right, waiting at the gate now with me cup of Seattle's best coffee in Montreal. And my croque monsieur. Looking mildly appetising this morning. So yeah, waiting for the plane now up to Inuit. We're on a Dash 8 today, so as I mentioned before, we got a 5-hour ride today with a stop off somewhere along the way as well, which is going to take us all the way around sort of the coast of Hudson Bay to the north of Canada, where with Air Inuit, to one of the big aviation hubs of the north of Canada, which is Inuit, and then we're going to have a night there tonight to explore the town and see what is or is not there, as may be the case. So yeah, I'm getting on board in a few minutes. Really excited for this one, looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing what's up there. Sadly, this 737-200 isn't the one that we're on today. Fingers crossed, that's what we've got scheduled for tomorrow. Today we're, however, on this one. Little Dash 8 300 over there. I've actually been on a 300 before. I've been on every other variant of the Dash 8 aside from the 300. So that's still going to be cool nonetheless. Hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow we can get a ride on that beauty there. One of the last 737-200s in passenger service anywhere in the world here in Montreal. But for now, let's go and get on board the Dash 8.
My first ride today then is this Dash 8 300, originally delivered new to Tyrolean Airways in Austria in 1997. Air Inuit bought her in 2010.
Right then, on board the Air Inuit Dash 8 300, a new aircraft model for me. I've been on all the other Dash 8s, just not the 300, and this is the first one I've been on. It's pretty nice. Look at this leg room. And down here, look. USB ports on a Dash 8. That's pretty cool. Was not expecting this amount of comfort, although it is sort of a 5-hour flight. It total with a stopover on the way as well, but it's pretty nice, it's pretty comfortable, pretty smart as far as Dash 8s go. Nice little window view as well at the side as we make our way up to first a place called La Grande Riviera. I've got visions of it being like the south of France. We'll see when we get there.
Leg 1 today then took us north from Montreal to La Grande Riviere. Flight time today was 2 hours and 1 minute, cruising at 24,000 feet.
Right, we're an hour into the flight and I've cracked open Pringles. I'm not entirely sure how long these rations are going to last me. So then on the ground here at La Grande Riviera, I mean, I can kind of see the resemblance to like Nice and Saint-Tropez out the window, in that they speak French, I guess. But anyway, a lot of people have got off here. This is a airport that was built pretty much entirely to support the hydroelectric industry in this part of Quebec, and Air Inuit is the only commercial airline that actually flies in here. Apart from Air Inuit, Hydro-Quebec fly a lot of their own planes to fly their work crews in and out of La Grande Riviera. So we've got about an hour, I think, down here on the ground, and then we continue on our way north up to Puvernituck on the coast of the Hudson Bay.
Dear passengers, refueling is now in progress.
Attention aux mesures de sécurité suivantes.
Your
Our second flight of the day then takes us even further north into the Arctic Circle to the village of Puvernituck. Flight time for this leg was 1 hour and 26 minutes, cruising at 24,000 feet.
So the clouds have cleared down below us and we've now got a beautiful view out over the Hudson Bay. Right, we seem to have started our descent now then down into Puvernituck. Such a beautiful day, and the scenery out there looks incredible, although just so desolate. I'm just looking down at that lot, just thinking, not a human being for hundreds of miles around. It's just crazy, isn't it, to look at from up here.
Pretty soon we were starting our approach into the tiny village of Puvernituq. Like many airports in this part of the world, Puvernituq only has a gravel runway, so I was really looking forward to my first time landing on gravel.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Now that was bloody cool, wasn't it? Landing on the gravel runway here at Puvernituq in Nunavik, right in the north of Quebec. There's my plane there, the Dash 8 that's just brought me up from Montreal. I'm now going to try and take a wander into town because I've got a hotel here tonight. If I can find one. I mean, it's just like the most random place ever. I think, like, on any of my videos, I don't think I've ever been anywhere quite as remote as Puvernituq up here in the Arctic. So yeah, let's take a wander into town and see if we can find this hotel that we're staying in tonight, and have a wander around this little Inuit town of Puvernituq. Sign says, welcome to Puvernituq, population 1,627, and I just love the way that they write the population down by hand just so that they can make any changes pretty quickly. So this is probably the point that I should mention. I haven't got an absolute clue where I'm going. My phone isn't working because there's no phone signal out here in the middle of nowhere. So, and I haven't got an absolute clue where I'm going. I know that the hotel is on the seafront, or like the front of the waterfront sort of thing. So I'm going to try and head that way and see if I can find it. Right, I think I'm not far away. This is the riverfront here in Puvernituq. How beautiful is this? Look, wow. It's incredible. All the locals milling around on their little four-wheelers as well. Pretty cool. I just need to find this hotel. Still no phone signal right down here in the town centre. I don't think they've got a mobile phone out here. Somehow. But I may be surprised. There may be a Wi-Fi in the hotel. Who knows? But let's see if we can find it. At least this is the only sort of riverfront sort of street that I can find. So I think it may be down here somewhere. You know what? I've only gone and bloody found it. Hey, look at me! No phone. No mobile signal, no nothing, and I've managed to navigate a foreign town in the middle of nowhere and find my way to a hotel. You see, like Bear Grylls would be proud of me. See, Rach, I don't need my phone glued to my hand all the time to be able to function. Figure out how we get in now. I think it's up this way. Let's head inside. Right, let's go and find out what $225 a night gets you in the tiny village of Puvernituq. Right, there we are. Well, that's not too bad. Oh, drop me back down there. Oh yeah, look at that view. He said that I've got a view out over the water. Look at that. Is that not just amazing? Well, here we go. The Co-op, or the Coop Hotel, Co-op Hotel. I think it's like a cooperative thing because there's a co-op store next door and a co-op hotel and everything all in the same little bits. I think it's something linked to that sort of setup, but it's the only place really you can stay in Puvernituq. There isn't any other hotels here, so the $225 a night, that's it, take it or leave it, otherwise you're sleeping out on the gravel. But it's quite reasonable really for a night. The chap was saying that if I'd have asked at the airport, they'd have sent somebody to pick me up anyway, which was I wish I'd have known. But they're going to deal with all that in the morning. They're going to take me up to the airport, check me in early in the day, and then bring me back here to relax until the flight's ready to leave, and then take me back to the airport. That's pretty cool. You can't say fairer than that, can you? So let me get settled in, and then we'll have another little wander around. I might try and find a shop somewhere, and he did say there's Wi-Fi, so we'll have to try that out as well, which is quite nice. So yeah, welcome to Peverneytook. Right, let's go and have a little look around the town of Peverneytook. Now, translated into English, the name Peverneytook means a place that smells like rotting meat. And I don't know, I don't think they're doing themselves much justice. It doesn't smell that bad to me. But I can see why they choose to use the name Peverneytook instead. It's got a much better ring to it than a place that smells of rotten meat. I found a supermarket. Let's see if we can go in and get some supplies for dinner tonight. $7 for Cheez-Its. How much? $11 for a bottle of juice. And if you've got $30 to burn, you can have chicken nuggets. I mean, I could always get a bag of milk. There's milk in bags. Right, I'm sticking with my jerky. $30 for chicken nuggets. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the issue here, really. It's so cut off from the rest of the world up here. Everything costs an absolute arm and a leg. And you see, this is why I love coming to little communities like Peverneytook, because without aviation acting as that vital lifeline, communities like this would be completely cut off from the outside world. Peverneytook has no road connectivity outside of the village itself. You get to the edge of the village, the roads stop, and there is no way of driving anywhere. In the winter, well, this is frozen over as well, and you can't get any boats in because it's just completely frozen with solid ice. Aviation really is the lifeline of this community, and without it, it would be completely isolated from the outside world. Companies like Air Inuit are sending daily flights in here, which is great because it helps to connect these remote communities, just like Peverneytook, to the big towns and cities like Montreal. Whew. Right, back in my room at the Co-op Hotel in Peverneytook. And yeah, I didn't get any food to eat. I'm going to make do with me. Where's my camera going? I'm going to make do with me jerky and me Pringles to eat tonight, because I'm certainly not paying that sort of money for food. Unfortunately, it's a way of life in this part of the world. Everything costs an absolute arm and a leg. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to eat me jerky, and I'm not going to go on the internet because we don't have any, but instead I'm going to make do with this beautiful view. And tomorrow in the morning, fingers crossed, we get to ride on a super cool old airliner back down to Montreal. But for now, I'm going to get some rest, and I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Oh, well, good morning once again from Peverneytook in Nunavik, northern Quebec. Not slept too bad. Overnight it was quite nice and quiet here at least. Situation update this morning. Well, water's off today. We've got no water at all, which is a bit frustrating and a little bit depressing first thing in the morning to not be able to freshen up or anything. Wi-Fi still off as well from yesterday, so again, I've got no idea what's going on in the world, which is nice in a way, but would at least be nice to keep some form of communication going, but none at all, unfortunately. So yeah, until we get back to Montreal, well, I'm guessing that's going to be the next time I actually get any sort of connectivity here. Good news though is that today we are hopefully heading back down to Montreal. No idea what sort of aircraft we're going to get. It is scheduled as a 737-200, but clearly with no internet access, I'm not able to see what they're on about sending on the flight, whether it's going to be a 737 or I really hope it's not another Dash 8 again, because that really would not be very good. But either way, well, We'll find out later today. We'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, I guess. Just rock up to the airport and see if the plane's coming and what time it's due in and all the rest of it. It's all like going back in time a little bit, really. But I guess that's kind of the charm of places like Nunavik. There's no none of the modern-day pressure that you get in places like Toronto, Montreal, here in Canada, or the bigger cities elsewhere in the world. It's just you accept every day as it comes and see what it brings, and that's what we're going to do today. So a couple of hours until the plane is due to get in from Montreal, so I'm going to get some breakfast and figure out what I'm going to do for this morning before we get our flight back to Montreal. Right, the water truck has just been round, which means I've at least been able to brush my teeth, and well, checkout's in a couple of minutes now, so I'm going to head back downstairs and see what we can do before we head to the airport and get our flight back. Is it possible to ask for a window, please?
There's no more windows.
Oh no, okay.
I want you to be here at 1:30.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Right, back from the airport with good news and bad news. Good news, we've got a 737-200 Combi on the way in, so that is cool. A really, really cool old plane. Half cargo, half passengers, and we're on one to get back to Montreal. The bad news, well, they don't have any window seats free. So we'll have to figure that one out, I think, when we get on board. Maybe we get somebody nice at the side of me who doesn't mind me sticking my camera next to him, but we'll figure it out when we get on board. But we're going back to Montreal, and we're going there on a 737-200 Combi. Right, plane's arrived. Let's head over to the airport. To be allowed here because I'm vaccinated. Right, so back here then at Inuit, not international airport. Waiting for my flight back down to Montreal now. Wonderful little stay here at this town, actually. I'd love to come back at some point. It's such an amazing little place to visit. But for now, I'm going to head back inside and get on board the 737-200 Combi cargo aircraft back down to Montreal. Let's go. So then waiting to get on board the Air Inuit 737-200 Combi, which is right just there. You can see they're loading the cargo on at the front. The front half of the aircraft is actually configured for cargo, and there's just a few rows of seats at the back, which is why it's so difficult to get a window seat on these things. And you'll also notice as well underneath the nose wheel there's like a pan to deflect the gravel down when they're landing on these gravel runways. Not very many aircraft have that. But the Air Inuit 737-200s do, because they fly into these little gravel strips up in northern Quebec and places like this. I'm so excited to get on board this. It's been about 30 years since I've been on a 737-200, and I'm about to get on one again. I'll try and get a window seat next time, and then...
Well, we're not full, so...
Oh, okay, we might be able to move. We'll see.
You can take 14A or F. These are not assigned.
Oh, okay. Are they free for the whole flight for the next leg as well, or is just...
Yeah, absolutely.
Ah, okay, perfect.
Because technically the config that is approved by Transport Canada is 34 passengers.
Yeah, okay.
But, you know, with the number of seats, it makes 36 seats.
Okay,
So
wow.
we're legally required to have 2 empty seats.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, it
well,
has to do with, you know, the required time to evacuate the aircraft.
Yeah, okay,
so.
I see.
I also have a YouTube channel called like the flight attendant site.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool.
You'll share my adventures of course and all that.
Yeah.
So it's still fairly
Oh, well, I'd love to see it. I'd love to check it out.
Sure.
So my ride back down to Montreal was this 40-year-old Boeing 737-200 Combi, delivered new to Pacific Western in 1981. It's since flown for Eastern Provincial, Canadian Airlines, Canadian North and finally Air Inuit.
Thank you very much.
Whichever side.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
You said I can go in 14F, so is that alright? Is that okay? Thank you.
On behalf of Air Inuit and the entire crew, we wish you a pleasant flight.
Alright, so on board, and I got a window. The flight attendant was talking to me and very kindly said that I could have seat 14A or F because they're both kept free because of the nature of the flights. They've got 2 more seats than they're actually allowed to carry passengers for, and this is one of the 2, this one and 14A on the other side are the 2 that they effectively keep free. So I'm sat here in 14 Foxtrot. Look at this legroom. This here, of course, is the wall forward into the cargo hold, which is just full of freight. It's an entirely freight aircraft, apart from these few rows here at the back, where they carry a few passengers on. And yeah, other than these few seats, the rest of it is just cargo being ferried backwards and forwards to these remote villages from the big cities like Montreal. So this front row could practically have a flatbed seat in here.
The first leg today then took us back down to La Grande Riviere. Flight time for this leg was 1 hour and 8 minutes, cruising at 33,000 feet.
I haven't had a takeoff like that in so very long. In fact, the last time and only time I've ever been on a 737-200 before was way back when. I think it was like 1995, 94, 95, and I flew on a British Airways one for a 20-minute flight out of Birmingham. This is a lot more exciting and a lot more cool than that. Of course, back then I had no idea how rare the 737-200s were about to become. And these days there's only a couple of airlines anywhere in the world that still operate them, and one of them being this one, Air Inuit here in Canada. So the chance to be able to be on this aircraft, to feel the noise and the rumble of those engines, you won't get that in the video because the sound always sounds a bit rubbish on the videos compared to reality. You know, when you watch a fighter jet taking off and there's that rumbling, like ripping noise through the air that you feel in your stomach, that's exactly what it's like sitting at the side of this engine on this 737-200. It is so blooming cool. And look where we are. Rocketing overhead Canada, heading down back below the Arctic Circle again on the first flight today, which is to La Grande Riviere again, the same one we stopped at yesterday, but of course this time it's going to be in a 737-200. So cool. Now here's one thing I didn't expect to find on a 40-year-old Boeing 737-200. Wi-Fi. And it's got a load of entertainment on it as well. You can watch loads of TV shows, movies, things like that. I don't think there's actually internet through it, but still, this is a bloody 40-year-old 737-200. I'm looking out the window at this vintage wing and that amazing old style jet engine, feeling the rumble in my stomach and looking down at my phone and I've got Wi-Fi. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Alright, Right, there is now no longer an ear-blistering roar coming from these engines, which seems to indicate that we've begun our descent down into La Grande Rivière once again. And the 737-200, in comparison with a lot of other aircraft, even the 737-300 doesn't have this, but the 737-200 has got an amazing thrust reverser, which you'll see when we land. It's got these massive buckets which come out. I'm so looking forward to seeing them once again. It's one of the cool things about the 200. So yeah, I reckon in about another 5-10 minutes we'll be on the ground down in La Grande and ready for our little stop over there before we head on further south to Montreal. So the guys have very kindly invited me to come and have a look in the cargo bay here at the front of the 737 Combi. Look at this. So they're offloading all the cargo here at La Grande, and I'm presuming they're going to load some more stuff on here to get across to Montreal. All the seats out a little bit. Yeah, okay, wow.
So we can basically go all the way up front with 112 seats.
Okay.
And so we have multiple configurations, so either 2 cargo pallets and 76 seats, 3 cargo pallets and 60 seats.
Oh.
So...
And they just move this, put the extra seats in.
Yeah, exactly. So every night the aircraft comes into the hangar, and then our maintenance personnel will work on the configuration daily.
And there we go, cargo plane. Or passenger. Whatever you want.
There we go. Safe and secure.
Awesome.
You want to go see up front?
Is that alright? Thank you.
Hello, Captain. Hello. Shop time for a visitor.
Wow, it's been a long time since I've seen a 200 flight day.
So how long have you been up north for?
Just one night.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday. I was hoping to be on the 7.3 yesterday, and they subbed it for a Dash 8, so so 5 hours on a Dash 8, which was like, you guys must be used to it. But
oh yeah.
And yeah, I was like, I've spent $2,000 or $3,000 to ride on a Dash 8, but never mind today.
Well, at least we're here today. So,
thank you. Well, I'll see you in a few minutes.
Absolutely. Well, you're just gonna have to wait for us for a minute. We'll escort you in.
You get the same people every time, I guess.
Pretty much. Yeah. Very casual.
Yeah. Hello again.
Hi again. Welcome back.
Back in here, thank you. Alright then, so back on board the Air Inuit 737. What an amazing crew we've got on this flight. They very kindly showed me all through the front and everything, and off to clear security screening here at La Grande, little airport here. Now we're all back on board again, ready for the flight down to Montreal. About an hour and a half, I think, for this one, as we take one more flight on the 737-200. And look what the crew have just given me as a gift. Hope you enjoyed your flight, Nakarmik. That's very awesome, isn't it? Thank you so much to the crew. It's amazing. A little souvenir of my ride with Air Inuit here in the north of Canada.
Flight 2 today then took us further south back to Montreal. Flight time for this leg 1 hour 32 minutes, cruising at 33,000 feet again.
Alright then, airborne again from Legrand. The noise on this thing, oh my goodness, this is so awesome, so unbelievably awesome. It's like nothing else, honestly. If you've got the chance to ride on one of these old 737-200s, please, please, please do it. As an aviation enthusiast, you will absolutely love it if you've not been on already. I know a lot of people think it's just another model of the 737. It really isn't. It's something else with these old tubular thin engines on it.
Turned off to indicate you may use the lavatories.
It's time for the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
Right, a fantastic bathroom at the back of the 737-200. Very retro. Very old school indeed, look at this. They have a bit here for used razor blades. That's pretty interesting, and a shaver outlet. Something I've never seen in an aeroplane bathroom before, and they were telling me earlier that the 737-200, because it's such an old aircraft, doesn't have any running water in it, so the tap doesn't usually work. But in these days of like viruses and things, well, they filled the sink with this solution instead. Sanitary wipes and things like that. I'll have to keep that one so somebody else doesn't get it. But yeah, there we go. 737-200 bathroom right at the back. It's very cramped at this back end actually, because of the design of the aircraft. There's not much room at the galleon because where the stairs are, they kind of come right inside. There can be those unique stairs, the air stairs here, right at the back. So that means that the galley at the back is incredibly cramped on this aircraft, they were telling me, which is a little bit of a struggle sometimes, but it's just so flipping cool, this aircraft, isn't it? Love it, love it, love it. If you haven't been on a 737-200 yet, you need to get yourself on one. I know they're not everywhere. If you are able to come and get on one in Canada, then go for it, because it is an experience you will not regret. I'm not regretting this one single bit. It's so cool.
That was the Noel Phillips Lou Review.
I was just chatting to the crew actually about some of the uses that they have for this aircraft, and it's pretty cool. These aircraft literally are the lifeline for places like Pevernituck and all the little Inuit communities across the north of Canada. And aside from being a convertible passenger and cargo plane, they use these things as air ambulances as well. If somebody in Pevernituck, for example, needs to get to a hospital immediately, well, they're going to have a flight on one of these to get down, and they have a way of getting the patient on a stretcher, and they basically come in, and this little middle bit here will open up. They can load them on through the cargo door, slide them down, and they lower a load of seats and put like a platform on them so they can then make them into a stretcher area. They've got equipment so that they can do a complete ICU service for a patient with drips and ventilators and everything in it, for passengers in these remote communities to get them to hospital in Montreal. Because if you fall ill in Pevernituck, for example, when you need to get to a hospital, well, your closest hospital is in Montreal, a 3-4 hour flight away. So they need to make sure these aircraft can cope with all these sorts of situations. It really is complete lifeline for the community in these places, and it's incredible to see the work that these guys are doing. Right, started our descent then down into Montreal on the last landing of the day. That's such a cool experience today, riding with Air Inuit on their 737s. It's awesome. So we're going to be on the ground in about 15 minutes time or so in Montreal. They just put out cloudy skies, 21 degrees, so it should be quite a nice approach and landing down into Montreal, where we say goodbye to the 737-200. But in the meantime, we're just going to savour every single second of it until we're on that stand and we get off the back of the plane.
Yeah, here's the painful bit. Flights in this part of the world are not cheap in the slightest. My round trip to Pevernitook cost me over £2,000 or almost $3,000 US, working out at a cost of almost £1 a mile. As we saw on this trip, it can also be a massive gamble, and I was so nervous that I was going to end up with a £2,000 Dash 8 flight. But when the gamble pays off, well, let's just say it's totally worth it. I'd like to give a shout out as well to our fantastic crew on this flight who were just simply amazing. My flight attendant for today, Phil, has his own YouTube channel as well, Blizzard Flyer, showing his life as a flight attendant for Air Inuit. Check out his channel at the link on the screen now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for flying us. Hello. Hey. Oh, back in Montreal. Oi. Overlooking the city again. Days like this, I absolutely love my job and what I do. I woke up this morning in a tiny little village, little Inuit village, far north of the Arctic Circle, in the north of Canada, with no running water. We got no Wi-Fi, no internet access of any kind whatsoever, and now, well, I'm going to bed in the centre of one of the biggest cities in North America just a few hours later with me dinner. A McDonald's. So I just love it to bits, absolutely love it. I've had a really good time on this video. I hope you've enjoyed it too as much as I have. I'm going to get some rest now because tomorrow I'm off on another adventure from here in Montreal. In the meantime though, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.